If you understand how I got to woodworking, I took a perfectly good hobby and I turned it into a career. And while I loved what I do, it's like any career. It has its frustrations, it has its times that you just need to be away from it. And since I took my perfectly good hobby and turned it into a career, when I tried to get away from it, I didn't know what to do with myself. And so in a conversation with my wife one day, she suggested that I get a hobby. And I thought, that's a great idea. And but I didn't really know what that would be. And so we stayed at the Roycroft Hotel, and we got to taste through all their wines and have this old wine experience that I'd never had. The kind of thing where horsehide and wool and all those old wine flavors actually mean something. So after that, I thought, I think I know what my new hobby is. I'll establish a wine cellar. But for me to learn how to speak this language, I realized I needed to go to wine school. And I thought, how am I going to do that? I was aware that the most noted wine school in the United States was UC Davis, but I sure didn't need to go to college again. I already had a college degree that I didn't really use much. And then I was sitting back reading an article on a Saturday morning, and it was about the first release at the South Seattle Community College. And they were having a big event, and come on by and try their white wines. And I thought, And I went there, and I found that there was the opportunity to make something. I had to be a commercial winery because, well, it was another case of a hobby running amok. It was not really so much about this being a business. This was about the creation of wine. And then, of course, I realized, if I want to stay a winery, I've got to start selling this wine, because these barrels are expensive, the grapes are expensive, and while what I'm creating is fabulous, if I want to create this another day, I need to create a market for it. So hence Cloudlift Cellars was born. The name Cloudlift is a way that ties my furniture making life and my winemaking life together. So Cloudlift is a design element that's found in all the green and green inspired furniture that I've made. In Asian art, there are very few horizontal lines. They usually come across, they go up, they come back down and go across. And that's referred to as a cloud lift. So actually naming the winery Cloudlift was just a subtle way of tying it to another one of my life's passions. It's nice to have some credibility among the peers, but that's not the reason I make wine. Now, I kind of generalize two categories of wines, and there are wines that are the more cocktail kind that might be very fruit forward. They might be a little softer in acid, and then there's the food friendly. And I tend to fall into the food friendly category. And if you make the wine right, it makes your food better, as well as, paired with the right foods, it makes the wine taste better. So what I bring to the Washington wine culture is that experience with food and wine pairing. The other thing that is unique about Cloudlift is when you come into the tasting room, you're not going to get somebody that's been well trained in the wine and having to remember where the various grapes came from. Most of the time, at least half the time, if not all the time, you're going to get the winemaker. And there's not a lot of wineries, especially during harvest, that are going to drag you back into the cellar so you can smell the Chardonnay fermenting through the bubbler in the barrel. I'll even let people come and do punch downs if they want to. And there's nothing like the smell of fermenting wine. I am an urban winery in Georgetown, and I will say that I reflect my neighborhood for better or worse. But I'm available and I'm here, and that's part of what I bring to the Washington wine community.